Hello and welcome to the Vegas Odds YouTube channel for our Breeders' Cup special show, where we'll be breaking down all 9 Grade 1s taking place next Saturday. And to help me break down all the races, I'm joined by my good friend Ace. Ace, how are you doing and who are you riding at Del Mar next weekend?
I'm just a bachelor looking for a partner. I'm glad I got a partner in you. Giddy up. If you're new into horse racing, Del Mar Breeders' Cup, forget sports betting. You like a favorite to win, you can get him at 4-1, plus 400. Really excited, really happy to do this with you.
Let's get straight into it then, because we've got a lot to get through. We'll start with the big race taking place on the Saturday. It's the Breeders' Cup Classic. It's a $6 million purse, and the Roll of Honours are that have won this race in the past. You got talking American Pharaoh, Zenyatta, Curlin, Bayern. The list goes on and on. Every great horse has won this race in the past. Ace, we've got a very solid favourite, I think, in the bet. We've got Nix Go right at the top at plus 188. Will you be taking on the favourite in the Classic?
This is a really interesting race for a lot of reasons, as you talk about. It's called Classic for a reason. Art Collector is an interesting play, but to your point, Nix Go is going to be the favorite. He's straight speed. He's going to go out to the lead and he's going to try and win all the way around. I'm going to go against Nix Go. I like the king of the 3-year-olds. I'm not talking about Medina Spirit. I'm talking about Essential Quality. He's going to be plus 275, maybe plus 300, so right around 3-1 on your money. He should have won the Kentucky Derby, but he got a bad trip. He won the Belmont going 1.5 miles. I think this horse is special, and if this horse gets even, he's leaving.
I think for a favourite, there are so many questions that Nix Go has hanging over him, including the fact that he's never run over this distance in the past, which is a big red flag straight away. Only 27% of the favourites have won this race in the past. And I'm with you. I think Essential Quality, the best 3-year-old in the United States, he just wins every single time he goes out. You talk about a 4-time Grade 1 winner. He doesn't have to be flashy. As long as he's crossing the line first, you're getting your money.
And he's looking to be, I think, the 3rd or 4th horse ever to win multiple Breeders' Cup races. I really think this is like, if you're looking at a tiered race, I think it's Nix Go and Essential Quality in the top tier. And then you throw in Medina Spirit, Bob Baffert trained horse who won the Kentucky Derby. Art Collector, who's been really hot. Hot Rod Charlie, who's always right behind Essential Quality and right behind Medina Spirit, and then Max Player at around 8-1. I don't see anyone above those odds winning.
Obviously, we talk about Medina Spirit. We've only got 4 minutes into the show, and we have to mention Bob Baffert. If Medina Spirit wins this, it's just going to be like such a cloud hanging over not just the Breeders' Cup, but probably the whole season in general.
Bob has agreed to much more stringent testing on his horses to be entered in the Breeders' Cup. So there's going to be a lot more testing, but it doesn't help that they're doing the races in his backyard with the board, half of them previous owners or trainers with him, right? If Medina Spirit wins, I think it's going to cause a severe reaction within the mainstream media, but realistically, I just don't see him winning. If he takes 2nd, no one's going to care. If he takes 3rd, no one's going to care.
But obviously, his record on paper is pretty impressive, isn't it? Obviously, he come back with the beating Express Train in Tripoli in the Awesome again. When it comes to a horse that's going to finish 2nd, I cannot look past Hot Rod Charlie. I think we're just going to get a repeat of the Belmont again. You're going to take your chances on him finishing at least 2nd.
All this horse does is try. All he does. And you got to love horses like that. He's going to be right there. It's a lot of people's like sneaky pick to win. I just think Nix Go and Essential Quality are the 2 best horses. And if Hot Rod Charlie is a great horse, which we do think he is, a very good horse, maybe a great horse, he's going to have to bury Essential Quality, something he has not been able to do just yet. But yeah, if you're getting plus 700, plus 800, plus 900, take a shot. Why not? Is that where you're landed? You're going Essential Quality, Hot Rod Charlie, Exacta?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go probably Essential Quality on top, Hot Rod underneath, Max Player underneath, and then Medina Spirit and Nix Go underneath is where I'm going to land.
So we'll move on to the Breeders' Cup turf. $4 million purse. Past winners of this include Enable, Bricks and Mortar, and Conduit. Mishriff is the big one missing out here. And then you've already got Dermot Weld making excuses for Tanawa. I mean, you know where my heart lies in this race, but what are you feeling?
I really think this race, I'm going to toss the favorite Tarnawa right out the window. I don't see the favorite winning this race. Domestic spending, if they did not have two disappointing back-to-back finishes, I think would be near the favorite. Domestic spending plus 400. You got Flavian Pratt for Chad Brown. Flavian Pratt won half the stakes races at the Del Mar meet this year. He's winning at 39% at the current meet at Santa Anita. All this guy does is win. And you're coming into his house where he owns the place. I will take that to the bank.
I think they read a lot into Tanawa's run where the ground wasn't perfect, and that's why she is still favourite. But she's only won once since winning this race last year.
Tarnawa, I think, really turned a lot of heads last year winning. And for me, it's just like, you don't see many back-to-back winners unless they're truly special. This horse isn't coming in with an unblemished record. You're not sitting there going, oh, this one, check mark, moving on to the next race. And what's also really fun about turf racing, much more fun than dirt racing, you can always find a price if you like them. Especially in a race like this. Yeah, you don't get the perfect trip. I very much like domestic spending. I know that you're going to land on Yabir, which is completely fine with me, but if you've got an angle and you like someone like a Friars Road at 25-1 or a Bolshoi Ballet who's been super disappointing since coming over, you can get plus 2,000 on them, like 20-1, right? Like, it's not a terrible price on someone who has just been underperforming for the whole year.
Yabia is mine in this race. I just don't think she's losing this. She's my best bet of the whole Saturday. Obviously, on another show, I tipped up Yabia to win the Saratoga. And at that point, it was very, very clear this race was the one that Charlie Appleby was targeting. Even the Voltigeur is good enough form, I think, to win this. I just can't see a way where he doesn't win this race at all. You just won't put it past the connections of this horse and Yabia's form. It just makes perfect sense. And I did get it at 10-1 as well. So I was really happy about that. And now it's down to 600, 700.
Plus 650 right now in my world. Yeah, so 6.5-1.
I just think it's a smart pick. I also think he's got another decent chance near Charlie Appleby for a second or place in Walton Street, the old boy at 7. You got Frankie Dettori on board there. So if you're looking for a bigger price, that's going to be around plus 1,600.
I'm with you. I don't blame you. I'm going to take domestic spending and Yabir on top, and then I'm going to throw in everyone in the sun from like 16 to 20-1. I think Walton Street's got a chance to make the money. I think Bolshoi Ballet has a chance to make the money. Friars Road has a chance to make the money. United, oldie but a goodie. I can see them coming up and taking a piece of it, but not getting the whole cake.
I think United is a very interesting one. He does love it around Del Mar.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to go against some of these horses who really have some nice preps over Del Mar's track.
It would be a perfect way for United to sign off, I think, because we've probably seen the best of him already. He could be coming towards retirement.
But I'm going to go with domestic spending, Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt, and you're on your beer.
And I'm taking a chance on Walton Street as well, I think. We'll move on to the next race, which is the Breeders' Cup Distaff, over 1 1/8 miles on the dirt. Another grade one with a $2 million purse. You got a very, very strong favourite in this race in Latruska, plus 138. I mean, it's hard to kind of pick too many holes in her form this season because she has been very, very impressive.
I completely agree with you. Latruska has absolutely dominated as a 4-year-old. It's been really special. But what's great about this Breeders' Cup is they bring the 3-year-olds and the 4-year-olds all together. I'm taking the queen of the 3-year-olds, and that is Malatat. Plus 450 over here at the moment. You're going to get 4.5-1 on your money. Won the Kentucky Oaks. Won every prominent 3-year-old girls race that she ran in. I think Latruska is a super special horse. I really do. She has put some moves on She Dares the Devil and some other great fillies. But that last race, that last quarter of a mile, she just seemed to be a little wobbly for me. And it's also hard for me to believe that someone can consistently have their best race ever. How many times do you see a horse that's just all like, wow, that was their best race ever? And then you turn in the next 3 times and, oh no, this is their best race ever, right? I'm not saying Latruska is going to get absolutely buried and dominated and finish off the board. I'm just going to take a shot at Malatat, who has really put it to a lot and beaten almost everyone in this field, just like Latruska has. I think this is the chalkiest race, but I do think Malatat comes on top of Latruska.
We did talk about Latruska's form. Like, it is career best form for her this season. She has been just electric. To your point where you say that she can't keep running to the best we see her, it just wouldn't surprise me if we see her like raise it again when she's got like more competition, I guess. But I am with you with Malatat. I just think she is a superstar. Her speed figures don't lie. Like, she clearly is the talent in this field, and if she's anywhere near her best, she probably comes out on top. So if you're getting like anywhere near plus 500 for her, I mean, you should be snatching off the bookie's hands.
1,000,000%. And if you remember, we handicapped that little 4-horse race, and I picked against her. I just picked the wrong horse against her. This is a full-fetted field. It's a 2-horse race. Sorry, Royal Flag. Sorry, She Dares the Devil. Sorry, Claire Air. No one's touching these 2 horses.
I do like Claire Air. I was amazed by how big she is. But obviously, she's not going to win so consistent. Yeah. And her defeats this season have come against Malatat and Latruska. But she's more than capable of finishing second in this.
Listen, I would agree with you. The only scenario I could see is Malatat winning, Claire Air second, and Latruska just hanging on for third. But otherwise, I don't see it going Latruska and then Claire Air, because I just think Malatat always shows up. And if Malatat's not going to show up, then I think we're all going to be in trouble in this race.
Obviously, we've already mentioned Baffert once, but you've got Private Mission in here as well, who's probably going to go off around plus 1,000. Baffert trained. Flavian Pratt is likely to be on board.
Yeah, I just don't think they have the class. I know that they're the new, you know what I mean, like shooter in this. I just think Latruska and Malatat are just so much better than this whole field. I mean, you put those 2 in the top tier, I'd say, and then you skip a tier, and then you put everyone else underneath that tier. So realistically, I just don't see it happening there.
The Connections have a strong record at Del Mar already. She has won 2 graded races this year. I mean, this is completely different. It's a level above. You just never know, dear. You never know.
And I'm going to go some bombs in the next race we have. You got to figure out where you're going with your bombs, and then where you're just taking some favorites.
So where are you landing on that one then? Malatat
on top of Latruska. Grinding down towards the end, and it's insert 6 lengths and then put another horse in third.
I'm with you with the Malatat, but I will probably be taking a chance on Claire Air to finish second. So next up, we've got the Breeders' Cup Mile, which looks to be one of the harder races to find a winner, I think. $2 million purse. Palace Pier, I think, coming out of this has completely opened it up to pretty much anyone.
I am not taking a favorite in this race. I'm not taking the top 3 favorites in this race. You're right. This race is the bomb race, and it's the Breeders' Cup Mile. It's on the turf. Should be in the name, but I'll argue it another day. We're talking about Southern California racing, and we're not talking about Flavian Pratt, and we're talking about the turf. There's only one other jockey who I love, and his name is Umberto Rispoli. Umberto Rispoli is going to be on Smooth Like Straight in this race. Smooth Like Straight is going to be somewhere in the plus 1,600 to 20 to 1 range, so like 15 to 20 to 1. This horse is super consistent out there at Santa Anita, at Del Mar, always losing by like a neck to Mo Forza. I think this horse can jump up and surprise. Also going to look at some horses coming from your side of the world. I don't know if you can tell, but someone's got a bit of an accent. I like Mother Earth to surprise, but let me tell you, this race just gets bombs. And I like Aiden O'Brien bringing over a ton of horses. This horse is going to be a little bit of a shorter price, which I really don't understand because they haven't won anything lately. Plus 800, right in that 8 to 10 to 1 frame for me is where I'm going to be landing. And then I also like, call me crazy, I like Master of the Seas. Another Irish bred horse who really is just not shown up the way you want lately. But Charlie Appleby, Godolphin, William Buick, another horse plus 1,400, 14, 15 to 1, sign me up.
I do like Master of the Seas. There was so good earlier in the season, and obviously it's kind of fell apart a little bit since the winning the Craven Stakes. She was second in the Maiden Classic as well, which I think was a really good run, and I think she's a really good chance here for Appleby and Godolphin again, but I don't think I can continue to back Godolphin owned horses and Appleby train winners. I've landed on, because we've been stung by the Germans once in a big turf race, Real Appeal is German bred, won 2 from 3 in Ireland this season at Punchestown, including the Group 3 Ballycorus. Her final prep, when winning by half a length in the Boomerang, was pretty decent coming into this, and she's going to be a pretty big price for John Harrington. I just would not be surprised to see Real Appeal run a really big race here.
Plus 1,200, about 12 to 1. Okay, listen, I'm with you. You got Space Blues as the morning line favorite at like plus 275, Mo Forza plus 400, Blowout plus 700. I'm not taking any of them. No, thank you. No, thank you. This race, bombs, and I'm taking bombs from overseas, I think, or I like Umberto with Smooth Like Straight, the local horse.
I also was looking at In Love. I was really pleasantly surprised by their run in the Grade 1 Keeneland Turf Mile, which I think was the entry into this race. 3 from 6 this season. It just seems to kind of found a home on American soil this season. I just wouldn't be surprised.
Nothing's really going to surprise me this race, which is the scary thing, right? But I can't take a horse from Brazil on the turf. I just can't do it. Fine with your German pick. I'm fine with the Irish or the Great Britain. Even give me a French horse, even though you can never trust the French. I just don't see it with that one, but that's okay, right? You know who we also haven't mentioned in this race, which I'm a little surprised, is Blowout. You think of turf racing, you think of Chad Brown. Is Flavian Pratt going to be aboard? Probably. Really good preps coming off a nice win at Keeneland in the Grade 1. If this horse is around 7-1 as well, I'm tossing them in the exacta. I might go Flavian, Umberto, and then some Irish horses.
We got a couple of stats which might help narrow it down a little bit. So 19 out of the 20 past winners have previously won a Grade 1 or a grade or Group 1 or 2. 18 out of the 20 winners have also won within their last 3 starts, and 17 out of the 20 last winners have lined up in last 3 months. Real Appeal ticks all them boxes for me.
I don't blame you one bit. I think this is going to be a really fun race, and what's best about turf racing is you can blink in the last stride and 3 horses can come up and beat your horse that was on the lead. I'm going to go Smooth Like Straight, Master of the Seas, and Mother Earth, all at prices between 7-1 and probably 20-1. And then you are landing on
Real Appeal and Master of the Seas. 2
great long shots. I'm loving it.
So next up, we go into the Breeders' Cup Sprint over 6 furlongs with a $2 million purse. Is this just a straight shootout between the two at the top of the market?
I think so. Jackie's Warrior, who's a male, is a freak. He's a freak of nature. He's so darn fast. The only time he hasn't won this year was when he didn't break at all. I think he's going to break plus 120, so you're getting right around 1-1 odds. That's how short of a price this guy's going to be. But then you also got the local horse. The local horse in Dr. Chevelle, who's won a lot of stakes races. He's coming on late, and he's plus 500, right around 5-1. I look at these 2 horses, and I think they're going to throw down. I love some other horses in this race, just from a memory standpoint. I love seeing CZ Rocket throw down Flagstaff, but they're both going to be plus 1,400, plus 1,500. 2 great horses. Ferenz Fire, this is their last race ever. Going to be 10-1. I just see it as Jackie is going to throw down with Dr. Chevelle. No one can touch Jackie. I'm sorry.
This is a typical race where it's a battle between your head and your heart, because my heart would want Ferenzi Fire to win this. Just to sign off with another big win. They've run well all season. It would not be surprising to see that, but the third is probably the best case. They're not going to come anywhere near the top 2 in this.
You wish the best, you look at Ferenz Fire this year. Second, bad fifth. Second, first. They've still got it. The only problem is they're not going to be able to hang with this early speed. I expect it to go 22 and 44. They can't hang with that.
I actually landed on Dr. Chevelle in this one with Flavian Pratt on board. 3 from 3 this season. Back-to-back group races. Won the Santa Anita Championship with the speed figure 112. With it being Crosby with 103. The Del Mar record is, I think, the clincher with this at 3-0. At plus 500 as well. It's ridiculously good odds.
I don't disagree. I do think if there's going to be a small upset, I think this one's going to be a very chalky race. If anyone's going to get to Jackie, to the Warrior, it's going to be Dr. Chevelle. I feel like Jackie can run down anyone. And realistically, I just feel like she's a fighter. Not only that, but she's got faster times than Dr. Chevelle. And I get it, when you're winning by 3.5 lengths and you're winning, they went head to, Del Mar, the Bing Crosby, Dr. Chevelle won by a neck over 8 rings. Very nice horse. 1 in 110, right? You look at Jackie's Warrior's last race, 6 furlongs, 108, and she won by 6.5 lengths. So she was going down in speed, where Dr. Chevelle had to go all out to continue to win.
Is that not a good sign though, where it's actually working and it's competitive until the final stage? At least you've got that in the horse.
I agree with you, but I'm looking at Jackie's Warrior, where she was up by 7 lengths going into the turn. She could have just stopped running, and she could have slowed down, and she still finished in 108. It just doesn't make any sense. That's really fast. Faster than when Dr. Chevelle went head-to-head with someone and beat them in 110. 2 seconds is a length, is a difference. It's going to be hard for me to go against Jackie's Warrior, but if someone's going to get her, it's going to be Dr. Chevelle.
Yeah, and I think the stats got to back that up. 19 18 out of the 20 past winners have won a grade 1 or grade 2. It's going to be one of the top 2. But you're landing with Jackie's Warrior.
I can't go against Jackie's Warrior. Dr. Chevelle right there in second. Hard exacta, but yeah, I can't see myself picking against Jackie's Warrior.
Yeah, and I'll be taking Dr. Chevelle. So next up, we've got the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, which is a grade 1 for the fillies and mares aged 3 and over 1 1/8 miles. $2 million purse. The field is going to change drastically between now and Saturday because a lot of these are going to either go into the turf or come here. It's a bit of a guessing game, I think. I think we can probably say Tarnawa, who's at the top of the market as well in this, is probably going to go to the turf. The most interesting one, I think, in here, who could easily come in here and win it, is Tiona, who I was really, really taken back with at Longchamp. I did fancy her for the Arc until all the rain came. The conditions at Del Mar are going to be very, very perfect for her, I think.
This is yet again a very tough race to handicap because, to your point, we don't know who all is going to be in it. We have a genuine idea of who's going to choose where to run, right? I'm going to take a local horse again. I'm going to go with a price. I really like going to Vegas. They won a grade 1 last out at Santa Anita. Del Mar, they've won back-to-back races there at Del Mar. You're going to have Umberto Rispoli or Flavian Pratt aboard. I'm sorry. I just like local horses in this spot where Umberto just knows how to ride. He's a magician out there. But I wouldn't blame you if you landed in several spots here. It's another turf race that roll the dice.
Tiona, like her season has just gone on an upward trajectory. So she was 28 lengths behind Snowfall in the Oaks. Obviously, in France, she beat Snowfall in the Vermille. I think that shows how far she's come in the space of 6 months. Obviously, you've also got Love in here, who is also an ex-Epsom Oaks winner. I kind of feel she's probably going to land in here rather than the turf. I would love to see Love get one more grade 1 winner because I think she's been written off quite a lot over the past couple of months since winning at Royal Ascot.
I think Love is going to be a sneaky pick here. I do think a lot of people are going to end up betting her here. 2020, 3 for 3. Looked great. Then steps up maybe in competition and just second here or third here, but always shows up. Never is just absolutely just like beaten and embarrassed, right? And the one race where she took third by a little bit was against Mischief, which unfortunately due to injury they or in retirement they're not going to be here. But at the same time, like, people also bet by names, right? They bet by connections. You've got Ryan Moore and you've got Aidan O'Brien and you've got a horse named Love who's from Ireland. This horse might be bet down to the favorite just because of all those things, right?
Oh, 100%. I think it will go off favorite.
Realistically, are you just betting because of the sentiment, or are you betting because they think they can win? Listen, when you're in love, sometimes going to Vegas and getting married is something that us Americans do over here. I actually like Love on the board, so I think I'm going to go going to Vegas over Love.
The reason for Love's form, I think, dipping off is because she's been in with the boys. The King George when she lost to Adier, and then the Juddmonte International, which, I mean, it was written in the stars Mischief was going to win that one. I think the most disappointing run was when she was second in the Blandfeld Stakes at the Curragh, because you just felt like she was going to come back into her own when she was back with the girls, and it just didn't happen, which is, I think, was the most disappointing factor of that. Obviously, you've also got the defending champion on here, haven't you, Aldiera? But her form this season is just, it's fallen off a cliff.
Can't trust the French horse. Can't trust the French horse to win a back-to-back. Nope. Not happening.
I do quite like the Japanese rider in here. Loves only you as well. Again, Loves might be very popular on the day. Super consistent over this kind of distance, and was second in the Sapero Kinnan on the return after a 119-day break. And I think that's just an ideal kind of prep run for this, but it's a pretty big step up. I mean, I'm not going to be an expert in Japanese racing, but I guess they don't have this amount of superstars going against her.
This is the race where, like, yes, Love's only you. I 100% can see this horse winning this race, coming from way off of it, if there's a super fast pace. I don't think you're going to get that good of a price on Love's only you, unfortunately. That's one of the issues I have, right? I think they're going to be right around 5-1. To your point, there's just too much unknown. Like, we're not experts in Japanese racing. You got your Great Britain and your Ireland over there. We got our US over here. That's the only race where I'm still like, yeah, I really do like the Japanese horse to take a part in it, but I'd rather take what I know.
You've also got Rugier in here as well, who won the same prep that Tanawa won last year, which I think is an interesting kind of play at around plus 700 against this kind of caliber of competition. I just can't see it.
No, I can't see it either. And yeah, they won a Group 1 last out by a nose. They were third by a neck in a Group 2. I just think this horse continues to show up short. And both those horses we talked about, they're just deep, deep closers. They're coming from the clouds. Del Mar, you don't see too many horses coming completely from the clouds. You got your mid-pack stalkers. If someone falls asleep on the lead, goodbye, right? You're really going to need a super hot pace to close into here.
If Love goes off favourite, she's got the ultimate kiss of death there because none of the past 7 winners have been favourites. So where are you landing on the filly and mare turf?
Going to Vegas.
And I'll be landing on Tiona because I've just got a feeling she's probably going to end up here. I don't think she's going to be going to the turf.
And so Tiona's right around probably 6-1.
Uh,
600.
Yeah.
And going to Vegas, plus 1,000, so plus 10-1. Not bad. Not bad at all.
We got on to the next one, which is the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, rather. It's a grade 1 with a $1 million purse. Again, no favourite has won this since Misdirection in 2013. Over in Europe, the turf sprint season has just been an open book. In here, you've got Golden Pal that's probably going to go off favourite again. Are you on board or are you taking it on?
I'm not going to be going against the favourite here. I'm sorry. I think Golden Pal is special. I think Golden Pal can beat this horse running backwards. Don't get me wrong. There's some horses in here that I've really enjoyed watching this year. Lieutenant Dan, Charmaine's Mia's got a special place in my heart. Golden Pal, plus 175. I literally think this is the one race where they beat people in sprints by open lengths, which is very hard to do on the turf. And they make it look so easy.
I like Lieutenant Dan in here and at a bigger price because you always get bigger price winners in these kind of races because they can just come from anywhere. He's won on all 3 starts this season, winning at Del Mar twice, including the Grade 3 Green Flash. Most recent was at the Eddie D at Santa Anita. I just think I'd be amazed if he goes off this big.
I would agree with you. The only bad race Golden Pal has is at York, shipping over, right? Just didn't show up at all. But otherwise, this horse in 5.5 furlong races wins by 2, wins by 3, wins by 3. This horse is really separating themselves from the field. And they're going 21 and 44 every time on the lead. Who's going to go with Golden Pal? Because if no one goes with him, no one's catching him.
You talk about the Nunthorpe in York. The horse that comes second in this is also the second favourite in Emirata Anna. I think there's a case to be made for her to beat Starman, who was meant to be the next best thing in the European sprinting. And what I think for a little bit was the favourite in this race until the season just collapsed around like him. It won the Betfair Sprint Cup Stakes. It's been such a random season for these British and Irish sprinters where even at someone like 7-1, I don't think I'd be taking it.
I've hyped up this whole, all these turf races to go for bombs in every race. I think I'm landing on the favorite here because he's going to be short. I don't think anyone can touch him from a speed perspective. And I also like that they went and tried out York and Ascot and all these places, right? And then they're coming home with enough rest to make sure that everything can happen here. And this is also, they're only going 5 furlongs. It might be one of those where they gotta pan back on the TV screen to see everyone else.
So you're going glass slippers in there then, a Golden Pal rather.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll be taking a chance on Lieutenant Dan. 11 out of the 13 past winners of this have placed at the track before, so I'll be sticking with that, and I've got a bit of a stat behind it as well. So next up we got the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, which is a grade 1 over a mile with a $1 million purse. Nick's Go won this last year, and we've already spoken about him going in the Classic. A horse that was probably expected to be running in the Classic heads the betting in here with Life is Good. It's been a bit of a weird season, hasn't it, for Life is Good, really? Life is
Good would have been the Kentucky Derby favorite with essential quality if they were able to stay healthy. They came back after 5 months off, and they ran at 7 furlongs against Jackie's Warrior, and they lost by a neck. Then they go back out, and they win the Kelso for fun by 5. I don't see this horse losing. They might be the second shortest price of all the days of the Breeders' Cup at minus 110, at least here. I don't think anyone can touch this horse. I think this is actually a pretty weak field. I don't think anyone touches Life is Good.
No, I'm totally with you. Obviously, 4th and 5 this season with the defeat coming against Jackie's Warrior, and because it was so close, there was absolutely no shame in that at all. Even if he would have lost by a length or 2, there would have been no shame. It's not his trip, is it? That kind of distance. He's back over the distance he likes now on the back of that Kelso handicap form. I think that's better form than any other horse in this race has got. And I think it's going to be one of the horses in Life is Good, which is going to be a cornerstone of the parlay bets that people have for the second day, along with the horse we'll speak about in the next race, I think.
And you know what? They broke their maiden at Del Mar. They're a Southern California-based horse. And then after the Kentucky Derby Baffert stuff, the ownership group kind of went and said, hey, Todd Pletcher, you want to train this horse? Yeah? Okay. Todd Pletcher took him. He's looked really good. I also want to thank every single person who made Life is Good the favorite over Jackie's Warrior in that race that day at Saratoga. Thank you.
There are the horses in here which I think might be worth considering as maybe a second choice, maybe. Someone like an 8 Rings, possibly. Already has a bit of Del Mar experience. Was second in the Bing Crosby, was fourth in the Pat O'Brien. Won an allowance optional at Santa Anita as a prep for this. It's probably a pretty decent chance for second, but obviously it's going to get nowhere near Life is Good.
I'm with you, and then I'm also going to go pretty chalky. I think Ginobili, probably going to be around 8-1, but like just 3 for 4 at Del Mar. They can take second, but it's going to be pretty chalky. I also like 8 Rings, like to your point, but realistically, it's only from an underneath perspective.
So I think we're both in agreement there. Life is Good is probably going to sail to the victory in the dirt mile.
By a million.
It takes us to the Filly and Mare Sprint, which is a grade 1. The 7 furlongs with $1 million purse. Gamine is going to win this at a counter, surely.
There's all this talk about one horse coming after Gamine, and I just don't see it. Gamine is special. She doesn't even have to be great on a day to win. She can win not giving her best. I think this is also one of those races where you're probably only going to look at 7 horses in this race. There isn't going to be a price here that I like. I like Gamine over Bella Sophia, who everyone is saying, oh, they're going to go together, and let's see if Gamine can win out. I just don't think Bella Sophia is going to go with her. And then CC at plus 550, right around 6-1. I think this is the chalkiest of races. I think it goes in the exact order: Gamine, Bella Sophia, CC. Everyone else in this race going to be way long of odds.
I'm a big fan of Bella Sophia. Like you say, Gamine is the superstar of this division. I've seen another Baffert horse. I mean, we were probably hoping he's not going to have too many winners, but I think this one is pretty much a guaranteed. 9 from 10. Only defeat come when she was 9th in the Kentucky Oaks, but 4 for 4 this season. All very impressive stuff, isn't it?
It's super impressive, and yeah, put this one on the undercard before it gets to the main NBC channel over here. Let's give Bob his trophy and then get him off the stage. Let's go.
I just can't see this horse being beaten. And like I say, you're probably going to have Gamine and you're going to have Life is Good, and then whoever else in your parlays. The 2 horses we've just spoke about are the 2 which are going to be the cornerstones.
You want a horse who's at least raced at Del Mar, who's had some experience in Southern California. CC, Mike McCarthy, Victor Espinosa, great story, him coming back, Triple Crown winning jockey. They could get underneath maybe a 3rd place finish.
Well, that's all the races done. What do you think will be the biggest story to come out of the Breeders' Cup?
I think it's Essential Quality. It's his last start in the Classic. He's one of the most handsome horses I've ever seen. I mean, as gray as the Nantucket Mist, I think he wins. I think he cements his legacy, even though he had a terrible Kentucky Derby trip. And he says, not only am I the best 3-year-old in the world, I'm the best horse running on dirt right now, and I'm retiring going out on top.
I can't believe he's not the favourite for the Classic. He's just a champion, and that's what the Breeders' Cup is all about. But I just think it's going to be about the Godolphin dominance at the Breeders' Cup. And I think they're going to have countless other ones. It wouldn't surprise me if they won a turf sprint, if they won other races on the turf or other races on the dirt. They've just been so dominant in the big races throughout the whole season this year. That brings an end to our Breeders' Cup preview show. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Ace, for your time. Good luck, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Until next time. Goodbye.